5 big questions for week 4. These are storylines that I am watching this week, players and situations that could swing your matchups, things to key in on for moves that you need to make next week. We will break down the stats, usage, and what it all means for your fantasy lineups. These are things to pay attention so you can get the edge in your league. Question number 1, is Quinshon Judkins for real? In just a couple of games, Quinshon Judkins has gone from a rookie with no preseason work to looking like he could potentially be the breakout rookie running back of the season. Now, week 2, limited volume, of course. That was his first game. They were easing him in. 10 carries, 61 yards. Very efficient. Week 3, 18 carries. Massive increase in workload. 94 yards and a touchdown against a Green Bay defense who had just shut down Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery. Now, the big question we have here is, did the Green Bay defense just fold? Or is their defense, reverting back to what they previously had in terms of run struggles? Or is Quinshon Judkins legit? We will find out this week for sure because the Browns take on Detroit. Detroit has done an excellent job defensively of bending but not breaking to running backs. They held Derrick Henry to just 50 rushing yards last week. They are allowing a touchdown per game, so it's not a complete shutdown, but from a fantasy perspective, they are limiting the overall upside for running backs. Volume is key here. Judkins has clearly secured the lead back status here, and if the Browns defense can keep games close, he will keep seeing touches. Even in bad matchups, that workload gives him a safe RB2 floor. This week's matchup, bad matchup, tough for the Browns defense here. It is one thing to hold Green Bay's offense with no wide receiver one, but it is another thing to keep the Lions in check. After this week, though, the matchups get very friendly. Keep a close eye on Judkins this week. He is a clear low-end RB2 with potential for more. Question number 2, will TreVeyon Henderson step up or at least be given a chance? Per usual, under Josh McDaniels, the Patriots' backfield is chaos. Now, last week, 3 fumbles from running backs, all not named TreVeyon Henderson. Henderson, the explosive rookie, feels like it would make legitimate sense to put the fumbling running backs on the back burner and lean into your brand new flashy talent, but logic doesn't always apply to New England coaching. Henderson has flashed big play potential, but his workload has been inconsistent. We can't trust coaching. It's a boom-bust situation where we must rely on the coaching staff to increase his role. If there is a week for Henderson to earn a larger workload and break out, it is this week specifically. The Patriots play Carolina. Their secondary is strong. We've talked about that, but their run defense can be attacked. If the Patriots want to stabilize their offense, leaning into Henderson makes sense. This is where talent meets opportunity. If Henderson gets snaps, he can smash in this opportunity, but the risk here is the Patriots just rotating running backs again and inexplicably going back to these veteran running backs. This week, we will learn a lot about the Patriots. Can they be flexible, or are they truly entrenched in a frustrating committee? Question number 3, can Xavier Worthy save Patrick Mahomes? Yes, can Xavier Worthy save Patrick Mahomes? Let's be honest here. Mahomes has looked ordinary. He's not killing lineups, and he hasn't been a top-tier fantasy quarterback over the past couple of weeks. Not the guy that people drafted. The problem is the weapons, right? Travis Kelce has been clearly slowing down. He is averaging under 50 yards per game. He has just 1 touchdown. They're relying on receivers like Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown. Those are guys that you don't want to rely on. Tyquan Thornton has come through, but again, not top-tier talent. And when you look at passer ratings around the league, the bottom is the usual suspects. Trevor Lawrence, Cam Ward, Bryce Young, Russell Wilson, and Patrick Mahomes. Whoops, that's not good. Enter Xavier Worthy, and potentially in the perfect matchup here. This week it is against Baltimore, traditionally a tougher defense, but not so much right now. Very vulnerable to volume, particularly because teams have to keep pace with the Ravens' offense. The Chiefs' run game has been a mess. They are going to have to air the ball out, and Worthy is exactly what they need to succeed. Worthy won't single-handedly turn things around for the Chiefs, but for Mahomes, he has to be better, and Worthy can absolutely be the missing piece that unlocks his fantasy value. Question number 4, is Michael Penix truly lost or just in bad matchups? I don't consider myself a Michael Penix apologist, but I do like to keep things realistic here. Week 1 did give us hope, nearly 300 passing yards, 2 total touchdowns. Since then, no passing touchdowns, and the Falcons' offense has looked absolutely lifeless. But context does matter here. In Week 2, he faced Minnesota. In Week 3, he faced Carolina. 2 of the toughest secondaries in football. Minnesota's defense overall is extremely challenging to inexperienced quarterbacks. In Carolina, while we just talked about their run defense, their secondary, it is no joke. They are legit. It is easy to panic and think that Penix is broken, but the talent hasn't disappeared. The early season schedule is just hitting him hard. Softer matchups should bring him back and help us trust in Drake London and Bijan Robinson, who is thriving through yardage but has just one touchdown on the season. Very underwhelming for what we were expecting. Now, this week's matchup against Washington will answer the massive question for us. Is Penix actually capable of leading the offense, and it was just a couple of tough matchups, or are the Falcons superstars destined for fantasy letdown this year? Question number 5. What is going on with the Raiders' target share? Last season didn't leave a lot of room for confusion. It was Brock Bowers and Jakobi Meyers. Bowers had 153 targets. Myers had 129, but he did play 2 less games, so he was only slightly below that of Myers. And then Tre Tucker was next with just 81. We talked about Tre Tucker in my waiver wire video here. 3 weeks productions in a row, and then capped in week 3 with the beautiful 145-yard, 3-touchdown performance. Yes, some of that was garbage time, but it is very clear that he has formed a deep connection there with Geno Smith. Now, Myers has 26 targets on the year. Bowers has 21 targets on the year. Tucker is at 20. It is fairly flat here. Now, Brock Bowers is well below his 2024 pace, but he is playing through an injury, and this right here is the first week where he has practiced in full, and if he is healthy, this could be the week where we finally see that shift in targets in his favor. The Raiders' offense flat out isn't working. Their offensive line is a mess. Their run game is stifled. The lack of involvement from Brock Bowers seems like we're really limiting the overall consistency of this offense. The Raiders are making changes to their offensive line this week. Will that fix the problem? I'm skeptical, considering that Pete Carroll's exact words were, "We have what we have." Pay attention to the offensive line this week. Pay attention to the target share this week and see if they can increase involvement to Brock Bowers. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel. You can find me across all social media platforms at It's Tera Time. So make sure that you tune in, you're subscribed and following, because I'm bringing you more fantasy football content all season long. Every week I've got you covered with top waiver wire ads, live shows, live Q&A where you can ask questions, so much more.